Lena had three best friends: Tara, Molly, and Jade. They were inseparable, like a small storm that followed her everywhere. Each one had her own chaos. Tara was twice divorced before 30. Molly jumped from one relationship to another like changing playlists. Jade claimed she didn't need men, but spent nights stalking her exes online. They called themselves independent women. But all I saw was bitterness wrapped in fake confidence. They loved to talk about self-worth. They posted quotes about never settling. But behind those words was jealousy. They didn't want love. They wanted company in their misery. When Lena and I started dating, I didn't think much about them. At first, they seemed harmless. Loud, funny, opinionated. Then, slowly, things shifted. Lena started seeing them more often. Girls, night once a month became twice a week. Then 3. Then daily lunches, long phone calls, endless gossip. She came home different. Her tone sharper. Her eyes suspicious. She asked questions that didn't sound like her. Why do you still talk to your ex? I told her my ex and I were friends before dating. We barely spoke. Maybe one birthday text a year. It never bothered her before. But now, she said, Tara says men keep their ex's number as a backup plan. Tara says. That became the start of every argument. Tara says. Molly thinks. Jade told me. It felt like I was dating all 4 of them at once. Every conversation was a trial. Every defense sounded like a lie in her head. She started checking my phone when I showered. She asked why I smiled at my screen. She wanted to know every woman's name I mentioned. Who's Emily from work? She's 60 and runs HR. Lena didn't laugh. She took notes like a detective building a case. My best friend Luke warned me. Bro, those girls are poison. They'll ruin her and drag you down with her. I laughed it off. I thought Lena was smarter than that. She had a degree in communications. Surely, she could see manipulation when it stared her in the face. But love makes you blind. You think reason will win. It doesn't. The next months were a slow slide into paranoia. I stayed late at work, and she called it cheating. I went to the gym, and she said I was meeting someone. I bought a different brand of deodorant, and she cried. Jade said men only change scents when they're seeing someone new. I was exhausted. I wasn't fighting for love anymore. I was fighting to prove I wasn't the villain in her friend's story. One by one, they rewrote the truth. And she believed every word. The Lena I loved was still there, buried under layers of doubt and bad advice. I could see her trying to believe me. But the voices in her head were louder. They didn't want her happy. They wanted her back in the circle of misery. And I knew, deep down, if this kept going, I'd lose her completely. Not because of what I did, but because of what they made her believe. It started small. A few late nights at work. A few unanswered texts while I was in meetings. Nothing unusual. But to Lena, everything became a clue. She looked for patterns that didn't exist. Tara told her men cheat when they get too busy. Molly said work is the perfect cover for lies. And Jade. She claimed no man ever stays loyal after 2 years. Those words became Lena's truth. She'd call me while I was coding. If I didn't answer, she'd send a dozen messages. Who are you with? Why didn't you pick up? I'd send screenshots of my screen. Emails. Calendar invites. Even photos from the office. It didn't matter. She didn't want proof. She wanted control. One night, she showed up at my place unannounced. I was in a video meeting with my California clients. 5 people on the call. One of them was a woman named Melissa. When the meeting ended, I found Lena waiting in the living room. Her face was cold, tight, unreadable. I know everything, she said. I laughed, thinking she was joking. Then she pointed toward my office. I saw her, on your screen. You were smiling at her. I blinked. That was a client, a team meeting. Don't lie, she snapped. Don't gaslight me. She was shaking, her voice trembling but full of conviction. She believed every word her friends had told her. I tried to explain. I even offered to show the meeting recording. Call my boss, I said. He'll confirm. I don't need to, she interrupted. I have all the proof I need. That was it. 2.5 years together, destroyed by one video call. She walked out without looking back. Her last words were the sharpest. Tara was right, men never change. The door slammed, and the silence that followed was heavy. I sat there, staring at my laptop, where her so-called evidence still glowed. A frozen image of my client's face. That's all it took. I called my friend Luke. He listened quietly, then said, Man, she's gone, don't chase her. And for the first time, I agreed. I realized something that night. Trust doesn't vanish in a moment. It gets stolen piece by piece. By words from the wrong people. By stories designed to hurt. I wanted to hate her friends. But deep down, I pitied them. They'd never known real love, so they taught her fear instead. Still, the pain hit hard. 2 years of laughter, wiped out by a rumor. I kept expecting her to call, to apologize, to ask for the truth. But she didn't. She blocked me on everything. She told everyone I'd cheated. And suddenly, I was the villain in a story I didn't write. The worst part wasn't losing her. It was realizing she never really trusted me at all. She trusted their lies more than my love. And there's no coming back from that. The first week after the breakup felt unreal. I woke up expecting a text from her. Nothing came. The silence was louder than any argument we ever had. At first, I tried to keep busy. Work. Gym. Anything that stopped me from checking my phone. Luke came over with beer and said, You dodged a bullet. I laughed, but it didn't feel funny yet. I missed the version of Lena before the paranoia. The girl who used to dance in my kitchen. The one who stole my hoodies. But she was gone. Replaced by someone I couldn't recognize anymore. After a few days, I blocked her on everything. No texts. No calls. No late night, what-if messages. It felt strange, like deleting a part of my life. But I needed peace more than closure. I stopped defending myself to people who believed her lies. Let them think what they wanted. I was done explaining my innocence. One evening, I stayed late at work finishing a project. No angry calls. No suspicious texts. Just focus. And it felt good. I realized how heavy the constant doubt had been. It wasn't love anymore. It was surveillance. I started hitting the gym harder. Luke and I went out on weekends. Bars. Games. Just living again. Every day, I felt lighter. No more walking on eggshells. No more being judged for smiling at my phone. For the first time in months, I laughed without guilt. I bought a new laptop, changed my phone wallpaper, cleaned my apartment. Little things, but they mattered. It felt like reclaiming space she used to occupy. My boss noticed the change too. You look more relaxed, he said. I told him I ended a toxic relationship. He nodded like he understood. He probably did. One Friday night, I deleted our old photos. Every trip, every dinner, every memory that now felt fake. My finger hovered before pressing delete. Then I did it. No tears. Just relief. I realized love shouldn't feel like proving your innocence every day. It should feel safe. Simple. Peaceful. And mine never was. A few weeks later, I started sleeping better. Waking up without dread. No anxiety over what new accusation might come. The freedom was addictive. I began saying yes to more things. Yes to nights out. Yes to meeting new people. Yes to being happy again. Lena's shadow faded slowly, replaced by laughter and normalcy. I stopped checking her social media. Stopped wondering if she missed me. Because honestly, I didn't miss who she had become. I missed peace more. And I had it now. That's when I knew I was healing. Not by forgetting her, but by remembering myself. It happened on a quiet Friday evening. Luke and I were at a small brewery downtown. We were talking about sports, work, random things. Then I saw her. Sophie Miller. She was sitting alone at the bar, scrolling through her phone. I recognized her immediately. She had been one of Lena's college friends. The only one who ever seemed normal. Smart eyes, calm energy, nothing fake about her. Luke noticed me staring. "Isn't that one of Lena's friends?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "The one who stayed out of the drama." He grinned. "Then you should say hi." So I did. I walked over, unsure what to expect. "Hey, Sophie," I said. "Didn't think I'd see you here." She looked up and smiled. "Ethan, wow, it's been a while." "Yeah," I said, awkwardly laughing. "How have you been?" She sighed. "Trying to survive the chaos. Lena told me what happened." I braced myself. "Let me guess," I said. "Her version." She nodded. "Yeah, but honestly I didn't buy it." That caught me off guard. She continued. "I know how her friends operate. They twist everything." We talked for a while. About Lena. About life. About work. Sophie was also in tech, working on machine learning projects. She understood late hours, long meetings, and how work calls actually work. It felt refreshing to talk to someone who got it. No judgment. No suspicion. Just understanding. When her order arrived, I said, "You're welcome to join us if you want." She smiled. "Sure, why not?" Luke liked her instantly. Finally, someone from Lena's circle who wasn't toxic. The three of us talked for hours. We laughed more than I had in months. Sophie told stories about her job and the weird bugs in her code. I told her about the project that nearly drove me insane. It was easy. Natural. No tension, no filters. Before leaving, we exchanged numbers. "Just for memes and tech stuff," she said jokingly. But that was the start. We began texting often. Funny videos. Work jokes. Little conversations that made long days lighter. There was no flirting at first. Just friendship. But something about her steadiness drew me in. She didn't need reassurance every 5 minutes. She didn't assume the worst. She trusted by default. That alone felt revolutionary. We started hanging out after work. Coffee, tech meetups, random lunches. No pressure. No label. Just two people who enjoyed being around each other. One night, we worked on a side project at my place. A simple coding app. Hours passed without either of us noticing. When she finally fixed a stubborn bug, she jumped up cheering. "We make a good team," she said, laughing. And right then, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic. It was calm. Real. For the first time since Lena, I felt something that didn't come with fear. It came with peace. And I realized maybe, just maybe, I was ready to let someone new in. Sophie and I started seeing each other more often. At first, it was just coffee after work. Then dinners. Then weekends that somehow stretched into Mondays. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't forced. It just felt right. She made everything easy. No drama. No guessing games. She'd text good morning and mean it. She'd listen without trying to win an argument. It was peace disguised as love. After a few weeks, we became official. We didn't post about it. We didn't announce it. We just knew. And for a while, it stayed our quiet secret. Until the day everything exploded. There was a tech networking event downtown. Sophie was invited to speak about AI ethics. I came to support her. Neither of us knew Lena would be there. When Sophie spotted her across the room, she froze. "Do you want to leave?" I asked. She shook her head. "No, I'm done running from her shadow." Minutes later, Lena walked straight up to her. Her voice was fake sweet. "Oh my God, Sophie, it's been forever." Sophie forced a polite smile. "Hey, Lena." Lena tilted her head. "I've been dying to talk to you. You won't believe what Ethan did." Sophie cut her off. "I already know," she said calmly. "I know the truth." Lena blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" Sophie looked her dead in the eyes. "I mean, Ethan didn't cheat. You did on your own trust." The room went quiet around them. Lena's smile cracked. Sophie continued, steady as stone. "He told me what really happened. The meeting, the lies your friends fed you." "And you believed him?" Lena asked, voice trembling. "I didn't need to believe him," Sophie replied. "I understood him." Then came the blow. "We're together now." Lena's face went white. The shock spread across her like a slow burn. "You're dating my ex," she whispered. Sophie nodded. "Yes, the same man you threw away over nothing." For a second, Lena said nothing. Then came the storm. "You're a snake. You broke girl code." Her voice rose, drawing stares from nearby tables. Sophie didn't flinch. "Girl code," she said. "You destroyed a good man because you listened to poison. Tara and the others aren't your friends. They're your anchors. You chose them over someone who actually loved you." Lena's eyes filled with tears, but Sophie didn't soften. "I tried to warn you months ago," she said. "You didn't listen." Lena turned to leave, her pride shattered. But the damage was already done. Within hours, Tara, Molly, and Jade flooded social media. Posts full of snake emojis and quotes about betrayal. They called me manipulative. They called Sophie a traitor. We ignored it. We went out for ice cream instead. While they screamed online, we laughed in the quiet. Because truth doesn't need defense. It only needs time to outshine the noise. It was late on a Tuesday night when the doorbell rang. Sophie and I were watching a movie, half asleep on the couch. She checked the camera on her phone and froze. "It's Lena," she whispered. I looked at the screen. There she was, standing in the hallway, hair messy, eyes red. She looked broken. Drunk maybe, desperate definitely. "Don't open it," I said quietly. But Lena started shouting through the door. "Sophie, I know you're in there. We need to talk." Her voice cracked between sobs. Sophie sighed, walked to the door and kept the chain locked. "Lena, it's 10 p.m. What do you want?" "I want you to break up with him," she cried. "He's my boyfriend. You can't just take him." Sophie's face stayed calm. "Lena, you dumped him. You ended it." "I made a mistake," she said. "I want him back." I stood up and walked to the door so she could see me. Her eyes widened when she saw my face through the gap. "Ethan, please," she begged. "I love you. I was wrong." I took a deep breath. "No," I said softly. "You don't love me. You love control." She started crying harder. "You don't understand. They told me things I thought." "You thought wrong," I said. "You never asked. You never listened. You trusted gossip over truth." She pressed her hand against the door like she could reach me. "Please, give me another chance." I shook my head. "Lena, you accused me without proof. You destroyed everything." Her voice broke completely. "I'll do anything. I'll change. I just want you back." I looked straight at her. "You want the man you imagined, not the one you left." Sophie's hand touched my arm gently. Her presence grounded me. Lena's eyes flicked between us. The realization hit her like a punch. "You're really together," she whispered. "Yes," Sophie said firmly. "And you need to leave." "This isn't fair," Lena screamed. "You replace me with my friend." No, Sophie said. You replaced yourself with your fear. Lena slid down the wall, sobbing. The neighbors started peeking from their doors. Security was called a few minutes later. They helped her up, still crying, still begging. When the hallway went quiet again, I just stood there. Sophie closed the door slowly. Her hands were shaking a little. I pulled her close and whispered, "It's over." She nodded. For a long time, we just stood there, listening to the silence. The next morning, Lena's father called me. He apologized for her behavior. He said, "You were always good to her, son. She didn't deserve you." I thanked him and wished Lena peace. After that, we never heard from her again. The noise stopped. The chaos faded. Sophie and I went back to our lives. Quiet mornings. Shared dinners. No suspicion, no fear. Just trust. And maybe that's what love was supposed to be all along. Months passed, and life finally felt calm again. Sophie moved into my apartment. Her laughter filled the spaces that once held arguments. We cooked together, worked side by side, lived without fear. There were no accusations, no silent wars. Just trust. Real, quiet trust. I never realized how rare that was until I lost it once. Sometimes at night, I'd think about Lena. Not with anger. Just a distant sadness. I heard she started therapy. Her dad said she's learning about boundaries and toxic people. I hope that's true. Everyone deserves a chance to heal. As for me, I stopped waiting for apologies. I didn't need them anymore. Forgiveness came quietly, like peace after a storm. Sophie and I still laugh about how chaos once brought us together. But we both know it wasn't luck. It was timing. Pain teaches you what peace looks like. And love, real love, doesn't demand proof. It gives you freedom. That's what I found with her. And for the first time in years, I wasn't surviving love. I was living it.